Hi guys, I'm Tammy. Welcome back to my channel. We are on part 3 of my entire perfume collection declutter. So part 1 was all of my kind of florals, beachy florals, fruity florals, fresh scents, citrusy scents, all of that. I decluttered 45 from that group of 111. Then in part 2 I just took my vanillas and I actually did a little, I don't know, kind of a little parody on America's Next Top Model elimination. And it was kind of funny. I actually had so much fun doing that. And I was able to release 5 of 14 vanillas. Vanillas are hard to let go of, eh? Since I filmed part 1 and part 2, I have been wearing some of the ones that I kept. And there are a few more actually that I've been able to let go of. There were 5 more that I decluttered. One was Escada Santorini Sunrise. I just decided it was just too orange juicy. And there are ones that I like better, like I was wanting to wear this one day, but I wanted to reach for something else over this. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be reaching for this. So then another day I decided to wear Kate Spade Live Colorfully. And wow, that was way, way, way too sweet for me. And I was like, I can't. I love smelling this from the nozzle. I absolutely love the way it smells, but when I tried to wear it, I guess it's been a while since I've done a full wear test on this one, but I was thinking, I can't keep this. I gotta send that one home. So another day, I actually wore Paradiso by Roberto Cavalli. I put this on to run some errands. It was a lovely scent. There was nothing wrong with it, but I was thinking, man, I wish I was wearing like Trussardi Donna instead, or even a Girl in Capri or another citrusy fragrance. Like this just wouldn't have been my top choice. So I was thinking, I think I can let go of this one as well. Glam Jasmine, I just realized after letting go of Calvin Klein Beauty, I was like, well, maybe I should double check on Glam Jasmine because that's a similar type of jasmine. So maybe I'm not going to be wearing it. And it's actually been so long since I've worn this. I don't remember the last time I wore it. So I decided to let this one go as well. And then this Mimic 99, which is supposed to be a copy of Baccarat Rouge 540. I realized, what the heck am I doing? I don't even like Baccarat Rouge 540. I'm not going to wear this. I just kind of wanted to have something that smelled like it, just to say I had it because of the popularity of it, but I decided no, there's no way. I'm not gonna wear it. So this one said goodbye as well. So I just wanted to let you know about those 5 more that I let go that I didn't mention in the first 2 parts. And now for this declutter. In this one, I am doing more of my musky, woody, powdery, and soapy, fresh, clean scents, as well as like a little deeper, darker category. These were some hard ones to let go of for me. I had to really think about it. I really love these categories. So even so, out of I think 100 perfumes, I let go of 35. So I'm pretty proud of myself for that. So when I did my full moon declutter, I was all in the mood of like letting go, and the full moon is about releasing and the completion of a cycle, and it's like the culmination and it just pops and then you just let go, and you know, like a confetti cannon. The confetti comes in the air and it just released, you let go. And so the new moon, the dark moon, is when all that confetti has finally settled back down to the ground and you are at 0 starting point. You have a blank canvas. You're starting from scratch. You almost have a rebirth, like a reset. And you really take time to reflect and think about what you really want in your life and to set those new intentions. And it's a great time to like start your manifestations rolling. That worked out really well because I was really in a self-reflecting mood since these were my favorite categories of perfume. And I had to really think like, what are my intentions? What do I want out of my life? What are my goals with my perfume collection? So I decided that my intentions are to kind of slow down my buying and purchasing perfumes. Besides the fact, I mean, my birthday's coming up in November. That's my 50th birthday. So I will be getting a perfume or 2 for that. And of course I'll be asking for perfume for Christmas because my husband loves to buy me something for Christmas and he knows I love perfume. So obviously I'm going to ask for what I want for Christmas. And I may buy a little bit here or there, but I really want to slow it down and I want to really make sure that they're perfumes that I want and that I'm going to use. And whatever perfumes I did keep, I want to make sure that I'm going to use them. I will test them out over the fall and winter, see which perfumes I'm actually going to wear and which I could let go of, because I know I can let go of more than I already have. So when spring comes around, when fall and winter have kind of run their course and I have seen which perfumes I'm actually wearing the most, and And when spring comes, I'm going to do another declutter, and I'm going to be even more ruthless, and I'm going to let even more perfumes go. I mean, I know you're going to believe me because look how much I've done already. I'll give you the final numbers at the end of the video, let you know the total that I have decluttered from all 3 videos, and give you the percentage of my collection that I have let go. So let's go declutter. So we're going to start off with the musk category. And musks, they're not exactly necessarily earthy, but they can be almost animalic. Like some people say musks smell like kind of like a kitten's fur or a puppy's breath, or maybe even your own skin after it's freshly showered or whatever. To me, musk almost gives a coating to whatever notes are in the fragrance, like a cloudy kind of pillowy coating. Like if you have a note of, let's say, fruit, you take that fruit and you muffle it almost with you put a pillow around it, or you put, you know, it's dipped in like icing sugar or something powdery, or you could take a note and like put it inside of a jellyfish so that it muffles it. Like musk almost gives like a muted quality to notes to me, and it does give that. I mean, it's kind of it can be sweet, it can be powdery, it can be so many different things. But anyway, these are what I consider my musks. Now, when musk is powdery, like I'm going to put that in my powdery category, which is coming up later. So, but this is kind of what I call my musks. Some of these have the word musk in the name of them, and some don't. Some I'm interpreting as musks, or maybe there's not even musk in all of them. But to me, this is what I consider musks. So I'm just setting them all out here on my table. I'm going to break these down into smaller categories. I'm going to like kind of define, you know, the different groups of musks. Now, this lotion by Soap and Glory called the Righteous Butter goes so perfectly with this entire category. All of these fragrances layer perfectly on top of that lotion, and it's so emollient. It's really good. Then I took these little samples, Bal d'Afrique, Mont Blanc Signature, and then what was the third one? Oh, Musk Therapy by Initio. And I kind of compared those samples that I have to this whole category, and I made a lot of interesting discoveries, but I'm not going to have time to talk about that during this voiceover because we're starting with our first subcategory of musks, which is kind of your simple, basic musks. And I want to talk first about Kayali Musk 12. It's actually a really pretty, gentle, delicate musk. It reminds me a little bit of the perfume Skin by Clean Reserve, but it's about 10% as strong. I was having trouble like really being able to smell it on myself, so I decided actually that I'm going to declutter that one. Now when it comes to Velvet Musk by Rihanna, I've kind of held on to that because I thought the packaging was really luxurious and I liked it, but it's a little too musty for me. It reminds me of Alyssa Ashley Musk, not white musk, but just musk. It's just a little bit of a musty, you know, musty dusty musk. Now we have White Musk by The Body Shop and Jovan White Musk. I really love White Musk, but these really are so similar. I just had to choose one, and I chose Jovan White Musk because I already have the body oil of the Body Shop one. So I decided to let those 3 go, and Jovan White Musk is staying. So if the previous category were kind of the cozy musks, I would say this category is more of the sexy musks to me. They have more woods in them, a lot of florals, sometimes citruses, and I don't know, I just find them a little bit more of a sexy group of fragrances. So Clean Warm Cashmere, the first one on the left there, that one is very similar to Byredo Bal d'Afrique, in my opinion, like very similar. I actually compared it with the sample. Now, obviously the Byredo one is stronger and, you know, a little bit better quality, but it's almost a little gaggy. Like the musk is almost a little too much for me in that one. So anyways, I'm definitely keeping Clean Warm Cashmere, and I can extend the longevity with the oil perfumery version of Bal d'Afrique, which I have, which is like a spot on, like exact match to Byredo Bal d'Afrique. Now over on the right, Cerruti 1881, I actually surprised myself, and I'm letting that one go. I surprised myself throughout this whole video, to be honest. But it was just a little too herbal for me, and I just found I wasn't reaching for it, and that's the simple answer. And Versace Yellow Diamond. I was like, you know, that's a little green for me as well. Like, it's, you know, fresh and everything, but just the greenness was really bothering me, even though it leaves behind an absolutely gorgeous musk on my skin. It's like, I'm just not going to reach for it because the opening is not my jam. So yeah, when it comes to Missing Person, the peachy bottle with the white cap, that's pretty much my ideal sexy musk. I absolutely love it. The travel size there beside it, both of those are definitely staying. So beautiful. And Clean White Woods is another one of my favorites. It smells like Missing Person, but it's probably twice as strong. So if you have trouble smelling Missing Person, try Clean White Woods. Well, actually, that is discontinued, but it's re-released under a new name. I believe it's Clean Nordic Light now, but that's just like an intenser version of Missing Person, just sexy, woody, just absolutely gorgeous, and those are staying as well. And the third and final category of musks is my fruity musks. Sometimes these almost give off like a little rotten banana peel vibe, like not in a bad way. Like if you ever smelled Mojave Ghost, it has that little almost banana peel rotten musky scent to it. That kind of reminds me of this category. Britney Spears Fantasy Intimate. I mean, it's pretty, it's fruity, but that kind of jellyfish musk it kind of coats it and surrounds it, and it some of these get a little, I don't know, I just want to say gaggy to me, like they're just too thick. I have the body oil version of Fantasy Intimate Edition, so I'm not going to keep the perfume because I actually like the body oil and the way it plays on my skin better. And Guess Dare, I actually thought I was going to declutter that because it does have that very thick, gaggy musk to it. But I don't know, there's something so pretty about it, and I just don't think I can let it go yet. So I didn't include it in my final number of declutters. Now, there's also the little diamond, like Lancome La Nuit Trésor Musc Diamant. That guy is, I mean, come on, I absolutely love that one. It's like a raspberry scent. And the musk in that is more refined, like it's a little bit lighter, airier, like a thinner sort of musk, and that is like an absolute yes, no-brainer. I'm keeping that one for sure. Hollister Wave, actually, it's not super musky, and I really like that one. I always really enjoy it for some reason. Like I just like the way it smells on my skin. And finally, my travel size of Clean Radiant Nectar. I'm keeping that. That one gets me a lot of compliments, and even though the musk is a little bit thick on that one, I really like the pear. If I had to choose like a kind of gaggy musk to keep, it would be that one. So that one's staying. Now, we're on to an entire new category. These are my soapy, clean, and fresh scents. Oh, definitely one of my favorite categories. Really hard to know what to let go of. So I decided to just set them all out on my little tray here and then start grabbing the ones that I know that I love and that I want and I'm going to keep. So I started off, the first one that I guess I decided to turn the light on there. The lighting changes a lot in this video. I'm so sorry about that. But Carolina Herrera 212. That was my first automatic yes. Those ones kind of go together, like they came together. So I'm keeping them both. I absolutely love them. This perfume is soapy while not being like a literal interpretation of soap. I think there's like 10 florals. There's such a variety. There's not too much of any one thing. It's just so woody. There's a sweetness. I absolutely love it. The next one that is safe is Narciso Rodriguez Pure Musk. This is the perfect like laundry soap powder. It's like a musky floral, but most importantly, it's like powdery and woody. It's slightly sweet. It is so elegant. I just absolutely love it. Like it's one of my top favorites. That is definitely staying. Kept reaching for the ones that I knew I was going to keep. And the next no-brainer is Lake and Sky 1111. This is just a crisp, fresh, it's a white amber. It's very angelic. It just smells like clouds and fresh air, like clean wood. I mean, there couldn't be a more perfect scent for me. Well, there could, but no, I just absolutely love that. And that is staying, as well as the travel size, because, you know, sometimes you want to just touch up and take it in your purse with you. So those two are staying. And if I thought there couldn't be a more perfect scent for me, I was wrong, because Gucci Bamboo is in that same family, but if you added the most indescribably creamy sandalwood, just slightly sweet, and then you added vanilla, and then if you took the florals that are normally in this type of scent and you just put a little more tropical twist on them, you have Gucci Bamboo. Now I have the EDP. I think it's available in the EDT as well, or it used to be, but this is beautiful, gorgeous, perfect. I love it. Now I'm looking around my tray to see what my next automatic yes would be, and it's Omnia Crystalline by Bulgari. This one is so crisp and soapy. It's kind of like fresh clothes out of the dryer or shower fresh, very inoffensive and beautiful. It's probably the most aquatic one. It has lotus and tea and pear, but it's just the perfect balance of like musky and woody, soapy, clean, fresh. Automatic yes, for sure. So that one is staying. Now I have to look around and see what else would be an automatic yes for me. And what did I choose next? Let's see. Oh yeah, Clean Soft Laundry. That one is like a citrusy laundry scent, but it's creamy. This is the one I would choose to like spray on my sheets for a linen spray. I mean, it's also gorgeous as a perfume, but that was surprised me. That was a really nice blind buy. Like I was really happy with that one. So I really want to keep that one. Now I'm going to start doing some face-offs between some of these here because the decisions were getting a little harder. So my first face-off is going to be Elizabeth Arden White Tea versus Bulgari Ote Blanc. That means the same thing. Ote Blanc actually means with white tea, and white tea means white tea. They're actually very similar. I would say Ote Blanc is a little bit more herbal and cool, whereas white tea is a little slightly more sweet, has a little bit more warmth to it, which is probably more my vibe. So I ended up deciding to declutter the Ote Blanc, and I decided to keep Elizabeth Arden White Tea. So I'm just going to set my declutters off to the left-hand side, and it's time for my next face-off. This is Philosophy Pure Grace and Philosophy Pure Grace Eau de Parfum. Now, this really surprised me because in my mind, I was going to be keeping the Eau de Parfum. And even after I first sprayed it, I thought I was going to keep the Eau de Parfum. However, that one ended up being a little too literal of an interpretation of a bar of ivory soap. Like it was exactly a bar of ivory soap. It was just a little too aldehydic and sharp, whereas the Eau de Toilette had a little bit of that warmth and sweetness. And so I decided to keep the Eau de Toilette. I was so surprised. I was just sure I was going to keep that EDP, but now there I put the light on again. But no, I'm keeping the Eau de Toilette, and the EDP is being decluttered. So now I feel like the decisions are getting a little bit harder. The next one that I was thinking about was Noah by Cacharel. And I didn't really want to let go with this because it really has a pretty dry down. But the celery note that I get in the opening is just too much for me. So I had to let it go. It's just like super strong celery in the opening, and it's not worth waiting to the dry down. It has some interesting notes of like coffee and coriander and tonka bean and stuff, but it's just not cutting it. So the next one I was thinking about is AV by Adriana Vittadini, and that's always been a favorite of mine. It's kind of just another kind of fresh soapy scent, but what I was noticing is it does actually also have that celery type of note in the opening, and it has something metallic almost. It's almost like, maybe not metallic, but like almost silvery. And then eventually it goes minty, like, I mean, toothpaste minty, like toothpaste breath minty. And if you really like fresh toothpaste breath, this could be the one for you, but I just decided that it's not the one for me. Now, Casual by Paul Sebastian is another very fresh, clean, soapy scent. And while I was testing this, I was sniffing and trying to figure out what this scent reminded me of. I looked up the notes and I saw Lily of the Valley, and I thought, yeah, there's Lily of the Valley for sure, but there's something else. As I kept on smelling and smelling, I realized It was lilac, like realistic lilac, like my Nana's lilac bush lilac. And although I love the smell of lilacs in person, like in a perfume, it's never what I really go for. Like I don't really want to smell like lilac. So I decluttered that one, and it just feels good to let these go. ZK1, I've had that for years, and while I was smelling it, I was realizing, man, this is actually kind of a little masterpiece. Like it's citrusy, it's aromatic, it's lovely, but I just don't reach for it. I don't see myself ever going to be reaching for it. So I let that one go as well, and it feels good. It feels good, even though it's hard. Clean Ultimate Beach Day. That one's always just been a little too plain lotiony for me. It's got that soapy vibe, but it's almost like an unscented lotion, I guess, like Jergens or something. So just wasn't cutting it. Now, OP Beach Paradise, I did find that a little bit more sour than I expected it was going to be. It had a little twang to it. Instead of being like a fresh, soapy, clean summer fragrance like I thought it was going to be, it ended up being a little bit more like, you know, the pink soap you'd find at a gas station bathroom. You know, it's got that little bit of sourness to it. So that one didn't work out for me. So now for my travel size from Clean, that is Blonde Rose. I already knew this one was going to be a declutter for me. I've never really enjoyed this one. It was a blind buy, and it ended up being very, like, sharply aldehydic. It's soapy, but it's like a harsh ivory soap. It has Lily of the Valley, but more the greenness comes out. It's just too green of a rose for me, and yeah, Blonde Rose had to go. And now for a couple of big surprises. We have French Grey by Elizabeth and James, Nirvana French Grey, and we have Clean Blossom. Now, I thought I was going to be keeping French Grey for sure, and I thought that Clean Blossom would be a definite declutter. So as I was smelling them and testing them out, I found that French Grey was very masculine on me when I first sprayed it out. On my skin, the lavender came out way too much, and I just found like it didn't work for me. Especially on paper. The lavender came out super strong on paper. Now, when I sprayed it on my skin, it actually ended up warming up quite a bit, and then I was like, wait, what is this? What does it smell like? I actually recognize it. It reminds me of something else. And it was Narciso Pure Musk that it reminded me of. Now, if I had to choose between them, I would choose Pure Musk because it's just so much better, and I love it from opening to dry down. Whereas French Grey bothers me in the opening, and it's better on the dry down, but not as strong as Pure Musk. And Clean Blossom ended up being a little bit like more warm and sweet than I thought. It wasn't just a plain soapy floral. So Clean Blossom is actually staying, and French Grey is leaving. Surprise, surprise. So all in all, I let go of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I believe I kept 11, so almost half. And then I found a backup of Clean Blossom and of Clean Warm Cashmere, which I'm realizing now with the perfumes that I have, the amount of them, the number of them, I just, no, there's no way I'm going to use those. I also found this little set that I have. It's called With Love by Hilary Duff, and I didn't include it in my final declutter numbers because it's almost like a different product. It's almost like a little perfume set. It has a little cell phone case and some lotion, but I'm letting that go because I'm just not going to use it. And then I found Ines de la Fressange, and I found a little bottle of Cherry Blossom by Bath & Body Works. That one, it does smell so pretty. Remember, I mentioned that in perfumes I've smelled on someone else. I smelled the lotion of Cherry Blossom, not Japanese Cherry Blossom, but Cherry Blossom by Bath & Body Works. I had smelled that on someone once, and I had purchased it because of that. It was beautiful. So I'll probably keep it, even though it's a little sticky and around the rim, like around the neck of the bottle, and it's kind of old, but it's so pretty. I think I'll keep it. But Ines de la Fressange, I am going to declutter that. It kind of reminds you of like a Chanel, like an older Chanel, like, oh, I don't know, maybe Coco Mademoiselle or something like that. It's an Albert Maria's creation, and I mean, it's nice and it has a gorgeous musk it leaves behind in your skin, but I don't use it. So I decided to let that one go, and I guess I will keep Cherry Blossom because I don't, it just smells so pretty. I know it's old, but I gotta keep it. So now we are moving on to the woody category, and I must admit, almost all of my woody scents are sandalwood scents, basically. And this is one category where there were no real big surprises to me. The perfumes that I'm laying out on the right-hand side, more of the molecular scents, are the ones I'm gravitating towards more now. And whereas natural sandalwood, I'm not like really as fond of anymore. Here I am smelling Nirvana Black by Elizabeth and James, and Molecule 04 by Centric Molecule, and Alm by Gap, another great sandalwood. Those are all kind of molecular sandalwoods. And Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume, another kind of woody molecular scent. Those are all staying. That's what I'm gravitating towards nowadays. And Santal Blush, that's actually a little bottle that I have used to decant into for Santal Blush. I am keeping that because that's been a real love of mine, but I don't love it as much as I used to. And then Velvet Santal, I thought that was going a little dill pickle, on me like sandalwood sometimes does, but I gave it a wear test the other day and it was gorgeous. I had a beautiful wearing experience all day long. I loved it. These are all for sure keeps. And, the other side of the table, these are all pretty much easy no's for me. They're all going bye-bye. And I forgot about my travel sizes, so I'll just set those out now. There are 2 by Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume Superdose and Sunny Side Up. There's Arizona Bloom by Floral Street and Ellis Brooklyn Super Amber. So most of these were pretty easy decisions. Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume Superdose is like even better than regular Not a Perfume. So that one was definitely going to stay. And Sunny Side Up is another lovely sandalwood. It has some really pretty notes with it, like citrus. And Arizona Bloom by Floral Street always has smelled to me like a dumpster fire. It is just way too smoky for me. And Super Amber, I decided I had to give that a few more tries because I think I kind of like it. But yeah, so onto the full bottles. I already told you that I was going to be decluttering Narciso Rodriguez Santal Musk. I had mentioned that in my June haul video. So that's definitely going. It smells like glue to me. And also Adam Levine. It's warm and cozy. It's kind of nice. It's a real good cheapie, but it smells almost like a gingerbread cookie, but I just never reach for it. It's a little too spicy for me. And now this one by Olfactive Studio, this is Lumiere Blanche, and it's pretty. It's a nicer sandalwood than Santal Musk to me. It's a little more soapy, fresh, and clean, but the sandalwood in it is just it is a little dill pickly, not bad, but I just don't love it and I don't reach for it. So why am I going to keep it? And then we have Stash by Sarah Jessica Parker. And this one was so hyped for so long, and I did fall for the hype. And everyone says it smelled like Santal Blush by Tom Ford, and it does in a way, but it almost has a little bit more of a chai smell to me, and chai is not my thing. It's a little too, cinnamony, spicy to me. So I just never reached for Stash, and I don't think that I ever would. So that one is going as well. It does feel good to be letting go of these. From this group, I decluttered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I kept 9. So I didn't think that was too bad. So on to the next category. Now, this next category is what I would call probably my deep, dark, and mysterious scents. I kind of want to say resinous, but I don't know if that's correct. So we have Dark Amber and Ginger Lily by Jo Malone, one of my all-time favorites. We have Roberto Cavalli Nero Assoluto, which I love. Amethyst by Nirvana Amethyst, I guess I should say, by Elizabeth and James. There's Agent Provocateur Fatale Intense and Montana Pour Femme. It's twin. I have my 2 Crystal Noirs, my Guest Seductive Noir. I guess I like dark fragrances. Noir means black. Rare Tiffany by Afnan. I feel like I get something completely different in that one than everyone else gets. But I'm not saying I don't like it, but it's, it's different than what everyone else seems to get. Now I have Valentina Assoluto by Valentino, which I got off a secondhand site. Zadig and Voltaire, this is her. Nirvana Bourbon by Elizabeth and James. And now a couple travels, Rihanna Rogue and Love Fest Burning Cherry by K.L.E. Now, another one that I am deciding to let go is Venom of Love by Nevitas Parfums. That was a collab with Paulina Shar. And I have a sample of it. Now, I asked for it for Christmas, and I got it for Christmas, but in the meantime, I got a sample. And all I could get was cherry. I'm not the biggest fan of just plain cherry. I liked the idea of the chocolate being with it, but the chocolate never came out. I let the sample sit. I let the sample macerate. I waited. I have tried it over months and months. I've never sensed the chocolate in it. It's just too plain cherry for me. So now let's declutter the rest of this category, and I'm going to start with the ones I know I'm going to keep. My two Crystal Noirs by Versace. The EDP and the EDT both are staying. That is my perfect scent. It's probably my favorite scent of all time. Jo Malone Dark Amber and Ginger Lily actually smells similar, and that's staying. Roberto Cavalli, Nero Assoluto, gorgeous. Ebony Wood, beautiful. Guess Seductive Noir, absolutely love. Could never let it go. Now, let me talk about Rare Tiffany for a second. A lot of people seem to get just kind of a floral scent with caramel, which sounds lovely. And I do get a little bit of that, but I get such a heavy dose of oud in this. It is like an intense Middle Eastern fragrance with oud to me. Not saying I don't like it, but it's just different than what everyone else seems to get. I am going to keep it. I still like playing around with it. I wore it the other day and I enjoyed it. And my sister loves it, so if I get rid of it, she'll have it. So when it comes to cherry perfumes, even though it's not my favorite note, Kayali's Love Fest Burning Cherry is my ideal cherry. It has the Palo Santo. It just has that balance. It has the woodiness it just helps with the whole thing. Rogue by Rihanna has a little bit of a cherry note to me, but it has leather, and it's just not my style. So I decided that I could let that one go. Plus, it's just a travel size, but I don't reach for it. This is Her by Zadig and Voltaire. It's a really strong scent. It's really interesting, but I love the sandalwood and the musk in that. It's a bit much to take, but I think I can take it. At least for now. That one is safe and it's staying. Now, Valentina Assoluto. I just bought that off a secondhand site, so that one is, a bit used. But it has a really nice powdery resinous, I think it has myrrh in it maybe. It's so pretty. And I think I'm really going to enjoy that this winter. So I'm excited about that. Now when it came to these two Nirvana scents by Elizabeth and James, I was thinking, I think they're kind of similar and I could let one go. Amethyst is like a tobacco sort of scent. Bourbon is a little bit more of kind of a boozy scent. And Amethyst, I didn't think was quite as good when I first sprayed it, but then it warmed up on my skin. I'm like, yes, I think I love it. I've always enjoyed those two scents, so they're definitely staying. I did have a little toss-up, but anyway. So now the last face-off is between Agent Provocateur Fatale Intense and Montana Parfum. They are like twins in a way. Agent Provocateur is the more strong, intense version, whereas Montana Parfum is like a more kind of lighter version. And I was really tossed up what to do. It would be better for summer. I don't know. I was kind of thinking about decluttering it. As you see, I put it over on one side, set aside to declutter. I set the box out for it, but I really had second thoughts. And I don't know. It's just like a gentler version of Agent Provocateur Fatale Intense, and I thought I got to give it another chance. I got to give it another try. And I forgot about Lake and Sky Midnight 07. That's one that I would probably repurchase if my travel runs out. It is gorgeous. It's sort of like Nero Assoluto. It's sort of like Guess Seductive Noir. It has that darkness. But it's really pretty. It has fig and yuzu and sandalwood. It's gorgeous. So that's definitely staying. While it was filming, my husband came home for supper and brought the mail home, and I had ordered this sand body spray from Ellis, Brooklyn. And I have to tell you, I opened it, I sprayed it once, and it was immediately no. Immediately no. Such a strong no, like a hard no. It's coconut. It's the kind of coconut. Have you ever tried Protégé by Nooks? It's like that kind of coconut. Oh, look at the sprayer though. The sprayer is gorgeous, but it's that kind of coconut. It smells almost like coconut flour that you'd bake with. Like, it's just not a coconut that I like. And so I instantly, started my return and printed off my label and packaged it up that night. And I took it back to the mail that day to return it because it was such a no. It's just a weird coconut. Not a fan. Goodbye. Now for the last category, and I broke it into two parts. These are my powdery fragrances. I broke it into the daytime powderies and the nighttime powderies. These here are my daytime powderies, and I'm a sucker for powdery scents. They just make me feel some type of way. They make me feel nostalgic sometimes. They bring me like childhood memories. They make me feel cozy, almost happier. They make me feel clean and fresh. I don't know. I just love powdery scents. Not baby powder. None of the ones that I like that are powdery smell anything like baby powder. But anyway, this was a hard category for me, so I started doing some face-offs. And the first two that I faced off against each other were my little Lacoste babies. Now, I love Lacoste fragrances, and the type of powdery that these are is just so my vibe. These two are similar, Lacoste Parfum and Lacoste Léger. Léger is a little more citrus. They're very similar actually, but they're different enough that I want to keep them over the winter and play around with them, see which one I wear more. And so I'm keeping them both for now. And the next face-off was between my two little purple ones here, Violet Eyes by Elizabeth Taylor and Bulgari Omnia Amethyst. They're both kind of purpley, powdery, sweet, violety. I really like both of them. Violet Eyes I like a little bit better, but they both just make me melt. They're both beautiful in their own way. I definitely had to keep both of them. They're not that similar. So now let's talk about these three little powdery beauties. Glossier You is one of my all-time favorites. It's a powdery musky. It has like violet and iris, I think, but it has ambrette, one of my favorite notes. Soleil Neige by Tom Ford is a little bit of everything. There's citrus, there's floral, there's vanilla, but it's a powder bomb. And the musk by Essential Parfums is just gorgeous. It's like a woody, fuzzy musk with beeswax. It's so interesting. It's absolutely beautiful, comforting. I love it. So at this point, you're probably a little bit disappointed with me, thinking like, is she ever going to declutter anything? Well, I am going to declutter something, and I'm going to really like shock you, knock your socks off here. I am going to declutter Xerjoff Apollonia. So I had a sample and I really loved it. It smelled like ivory snow, like powdered baby laundry detergent. And it was just very comforting. And I don't know what happened, but I think like it was a different batch. Maybe when I got the full bottle. And what came out when I got the full bottle was a lot of like kind of spicy pepperiness. And it was very masculine on me. It was almost like unscented pepper. And I'm just not enjoying it as much as I enjoyed the sample. And I'm actually going to declutter it. You guys, I am shocked. Now, I got an amazing deal on it, and all that. And that's why one of the reasons that I got it. But I'm laying him to rest in his little, little bed. Good night. Putting his blanket on. Go to sleep. I'm sorry, but I have to let you go. I want to talk about Cloud Musk by Mix Bar. What it smells the most similar to me is Glossier You, but it's not as good as Glossier You, and it's not as long lasting. So I felt perfectly comfortable letting go of Cloud Musk. And then I was looking at Lay by Emporio Armani. It was actually much fresher and prettier than I remembered. When I first sprayed it, I was like, oh, maybe I will keep it, because I had already assumed I would declutter this one. I haven't worn it in ages. But then the baby powdery scent, like actual baby powder, kind of came out on my skin. And then I remembered why I had originally like planned to declutter it. So unfortunately that one has to go. It's actually super pretty and fresh when you first spray it, but I just can't take the dry down. It's just a little too much like real baby powder to me. So that one had to go. Now, I have two Trussardi scents here. There is like the cream colored one is my name and the pink one is my scent. And neither of them are going to be keepers for me. I haven't reached for them. My name is, my scent is almost like a little bit of the sharp, florally, soapy gas station soap scent again. It actually smells a little bit like Frank Olivier, that one that I decluttered in part 1. So I found it pretty easy to let that go. And my name, the one on the left, I can actually barely smell that one. So those two were pretty easy choices for me to declutter. It always feels good to let some go. Now, I have two here, and one is going and one is staying. We have Poudre by Narciso Rodriguez and then the original EDP. I did have a little bit of a tough time deciding between these two. The EDP is very classic. It's powdery, it's gardenia, it's floral, it's really pretty. And when it comes to Poudre, you get more of like a cake mix smell. Like if you open a bag of cake mix and the powder blows up in your nose, it's that sweet and it's that powdery, and it dries down with a little bit too much smoky incense smell to me. And it can almost get a little bit suffocating, like sticking your face into a bag of cake mix powder and trying to breathe. And it can almost be suffocating. So I found it, fairly easy to let that one go. So as hard as it was for me to let go of, the ones in this category, I did manage to get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which I thought was pretty good. And now it all comes down to the final category, my nighttime powdery scents. If you're still here, you're a real one. If you're still here, leave me a high five emoji, like the praise hands emoji to let me know you made it this far. It's a long one, I know. Now, when it came to my nighttime powderies, I have these 4 smell-alikes. I actually did a video on my ambery smell-alikes, 4 that smell the same and which season to wear each. Now, should I declutter one of these 4? Or 2 of these 4? I absolutely should. Can I or will I? Not yet. Victoria's Secret Amber Romance, Michael Kors Sexy Amber, Michael Kors Wonderlust, and Chanel Allure. Now, Chanel Allure would be the one probably I would let go to these because I just, comparing them all and smelling them, it maybe was my least favorite out of the 4, but I'm not ready to let these go yet. Maybe over the winter as I try them out, I could narrow it down and let 1 or 2 of them go. I probably should. Now for a couple of my most gorgeous powdery scents. We are facing off with Givenchy Ange Udimant versus Hugo Boss Deep Red. Really, they're not in a face-off because I'm keeping them both. If I had to choose and let one go, it would probably be Ange Udimant, just because I have others that are a little bit more similar to it. But they're so beautiful. They're both staying. Now we have a couple more from Lacoste. And this whole line from Lacoste has me in a chokehold. Like the, which is this, the Lacoste Intense. It's just like the other 2 Lacostes that I kept from the daytime powderies. But I don't think I can let it go. And then I have the Elixir, which is kind of a powdery, much softer version of Carolina Herrera Good Girl. And I love that. I love these both, and I can't let them go. I hope you guys aren't too disappointed with me. But this will help because I have 2 that are both going. These are like old-fashioned powdery scents, and I don't love either one of them. We have Exclamation by Coty and White Diamonds Night by Elizabeth Taylor. That one is almost like a peach-scented baby powder, and Exclamation is almost like kind of an old-fashioned-y floral baby powder. And I'm not a fan really of either one of them. I've known for some time I was probably going to declutter them, and I was just waiting for this declutter for it to happen. So I'm happily letting go of those 2. Now we have a couple more Narciso Rodriguez scents going up against each other. First of all, we have Narciso Ombre, which I absolutely love. It's probably one of my favorite Narciso cubes. Cristal is probably my favorite, but I do love Ombre. It's so tropical. It's like a tropical floral powdery delight. I absolutely love that one. And Narciso Rouge, I have a decant of that, so I sprayed my little paper strip with the decant. And that one is also so gorgeous. Like, honestly, there's a heavy dose of vanilla in that one. It has rose and tuberose and orange blossom. It has a lot of really pretty florals. Now, the bottle for this one is a black bottle. It's a generous spray bottle, it's called. I don't know if it's a continuous spray or not. I haven't opened this box to be able to tell, but I don't really like the color red. That's why I picked this one that had the black bottle. Same reason I didn't have the cap on my bottle of Glossier U, because I just really don't like red. But the Narciso Ombre is, I mean, it's a favorite and it's going to stay. And Rouge is just so pretty with all of the like pretty sweet notes, gorgeous sandalwood, has tonka bean. It's actually stunning. And if I use my decant up, then I will open that black bottle and use it. And if not, then I'll end up decluttering it maybe in the spring. And now for the last two perfumes in the entire declutter. Two more gorgeous powdery beauties. I'm going to talk about Teo Cabanel Oh La La. This was in my 9 perfumes I'm honored to own video. I absolutely love it and treasure it. It's a tobacco scent, but it's very soft, like nutty, powdery, cozy. Oh, it's definitely staying. Now, Prada Candy. This is kind of a cocoa powder scent to me. Like, it doesn't have a whole lot of depth or interest. Like, there's no really contrasting notes to me. It's a very simple scent. It is very pretty, and I do like it, but it can go because I haven't been reaching for it much lately, and I'm not going to reach for it that much when I have all those other beautiful nighttime powdery scents to be reaching for. So those 3 are going bye-bye. So, how did I do? What do you think? I have my numbers here. So in this part of the declutter, there were 98 perfumes that I went through, and I let go of 35. I have to keep looking back at my numbers. 35, yes. My final total for all 3 videos. Out of 225 perfumes, I let 90 go, which is exactly 40% of my collection gone. Now, I'm closer than I was to finding a way to sell some of these perfumes, so DM me, you know, on Instagram or my email or whatever, like all my information's in the description box. But I'm closer than I was to finding out actual ways to be able to pass these along and make back a little bit of the money that I've spent on them. Some I will be giving away. So even though these perfumes are technically still in my house, I don't identify them as being mine anymore. I have like disassociated from them. I believe that they will be going on. They're no longer mine. Yes, they're in my house, but they're gone out of my identity. They're basically, for all intents and purposes, they're gone. So one of the perfumes I've introduced into my collection is a New York Nights by Bond No. 9. And this was on sale for $149.90 something on fragrancebuy.ca, and I just checked and it's now $139 something. So if this is something that you're interested in, now American, that's only, I feel like that's only $110 or now it must be around $100. And it's a 50 ml. But anyway, this is a new one in my collection and I'm so happy to have it. And guess what? I now have La Danza de Libellule, or La Danza de Libellule. So what happened was, my good friend Veronica from Veronica Says was ordering a bottle of this, but her fingers slipped and accidentally she typed my address in. And so it came to me. Thank you, Veronica. I am so excited to own La Danza. Guys, I mean, if you know the story of the dragonfly and what it means to me, then you'll understand why I'm so happy to have this perfume. And it's so pretty. It's like apple scented cotton candy, but like with a woodiness, and it's so pretty. My husband loves it on me and I've gotten so many compliments. I actually wore this to my daughter's memorial 3-on-3 basketball tournament this summer, which is an outdoor event. Everyone I hugged or everyone I like got close to was complimenting me on this. And I'm so happy to have it. I'm so thankful to Veronica. Like, I just can't explain it. I'm not gonna get crying again like I did in my wish list video. I think I sobbed through that whole video, but anyway. So I also included this in the total number of perfumes that I own. And I also decided to include the 5 perfumes that I decided after the fact of filming parts 1 and 2 that I would declutter in my declutter number. So that made my declutter number 90. 90 out of 225 is exactly 40%. I am so happy. I'm so, like, I feel relieved. I feel like taking a deep breath and sighing. Like, it's actually a relief to have that many less perfumes to have to choose from, because I'm not getting to wear them that much. I just have so many, it's overwhelming. And I'm always having samples that I have coming that I love to test. And so there's only so much skin in so many days and there's only so many perfumes I can spray. So thank you guys so much for joining me for these declutters. I love watching declutters and I hope you really enjoyed these. It's been a labor of love and I hope you appreciate it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's been a labor of love and I'm really happy that I'm through that part and I'm ready to just enjoy the perfumes that I do have. So thanks for joining me, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.